I greet all of you at Marymount School of New York. My name is Sister Margaret Tracy, RSHM, and I'm sitting here in our living room in Harare, which is the capital of Zimbabwe. If you notice, I'm surrounded by our cross, our RSHM cross, and we are celebrating 60 years in Zimbabwe this year. The exact celebration is in September. Also, the parish I live in, which is Holy Name Parish, is also celebrating 60 years. So the people in Zimbabwe celebrate in big ways, and especially they have materials made with the logo and with pertinent religious thoughts on them for the occasion. So we have them in various colours, white and in aqua, we have them in purple, beige, white, and also gold. So I'm here to thank all of you in Marymount School, and I have a letter here from Fran McGoldrick, and she asked me to answer a few questions so that the students, especially in the lower school, who are working on this reading from A to Zimbabwe, that they would have an idea of where your money goes. Let me thank you for all the money that you have sent us over the years. And many people have been able to live a little better because of your money. The first question I have here is, what are 3 things that the donation money goes toward? Well, number 1, they go toward school fees, because in Zimbabwe, every child has to pay school fees from elementary school all the way up. And many, many families cannot afford that. Now, these school fees can range from not a lot, like $60 a term, to up to $200 a term, depending on where the school is. So we have children going to many, many different schools, not just one school. We pay for them wherever the need arises. The second question is, what are the ages of the children you help? We help children from a very young age, from grade 0, they call it here, all the way up to grade 12, which is finishing high school. We try to use the money just for the very young up to the end of high school. We try to keep away from third level education because that's very expensive. And by keeping up to high school level, we're able to pay for more children. The question number 3, do the students wear uniforms? And if so, what does the school uniform look like? Yes, the children wear uniforms, and they are different uniforms for every school. As a matter of fact, in Zimbabwe, all the people love uniforms. That's why even the adults love these, what we call chitenges, for going to church and for different sodalities. So the uniform is very, very important, and often the uniform costs more than the school fees. Number 4, how long is your school year? The school year here begins in January and ends in early in December. The holidays are April, for a month more or less, August for around the same amount, a month, and December. And that goes into January, and sometimes that's around 6 weeks. Number 5, what is the average size of your classes? Well, you might faint when you hear this. The average size is 50, or it could be more, depending on the school. Some private schools obviously would have less, but many of the schools have 60 in a class. Very difficult for teachers, and often there's not an assistant teacher, just one teacher. Number 6, What kinds of food do the children eat? The staple food here is sadsa. It's kind of difficult to explain, but it's, if you take a mealie cob, corn on the cob as we call it in the States, and if it's ground down very fine into what looks like a kind of flour, and then the people cook that, and it's a very ritual kind of thing where they have to stir the pot the whole time, and then the sadsa comes out looking lovely. And I could just explain it to you, maybe that you can understand, is that it looks like mashed potatoes. So sadsa and nyama is meat, whenever they can afford that, and the other is muriwo. They use muriwo, which is really vegetables, very green vegetables. Question number 7. What is the weather like in Zimbabwe? Zimbabwe has a wonderful climate, and especially in Harare. It's very, very warm, but never too warm. Cool, but never too cool. Except this year we're experiencing a lot of the effects of climate change. We've had a lot of rain and many people have been flooded out of their homes. So climate change is affecting us here in Zimbabwe. Number 8, how do students get to school? Basically, walking. You will see them at 6 o'clock in the morning, sometimes very young children, walking to school. Sometimes a number of miles they have to go to get to their school. The more well-to-do are able to take a bus. Number 9, do the students have recess during the school day? Yes, they do, at about 10 o'clock in the morning, and that's when the students eat breakfast. Usually in Zimbabwe, people do not eat when they get up, but when later on in the morning, they will eat, and the children will bring something to eat at this particular time. Also, sometimes the school has to be shared, so the children only go for half a day. They don't have as long days at all in school as you have in the United States. I know when I was there and was teaching in St. Louis, Missouri, we had to have 6 hours of teaching a day. Well, if the children here had 3 hours, that would be a lot. The other thing, so that's all the questions answered. The other thing I just want to say is that we have 3 houses in Zimbabwe, one here in Harare, where I am, one in Mutare, where Sister Evelyn and Sister Tendai are, and another in Chinoy, where Sister Carol and a number of our young sisters are. And the money goes to all 3 places. And it's used also for helping in some child-headed homes. So a lot of your money goes there because these children do not have anything at all. And we are trying to keep them together in their own homes. So I'd like to thank you. This has been wonderful, and I hope everything came out okay. Thank you very much.